$50,000 is the amount of money that a credit union that I used to be a part of accidentally wired me to my bank account when I was in my 20s. I can go ahead and skip to the good part, which is I didn't go to jail and I didn't do anything wrong. And I was able to keep the money, every penny. So one day I was in my bedroom and I was going through the mail. I opened the mail and I was wiring money already, right? Because I knew I was going to be living there. And so we were kind of using that account for things that we were going to be doing together once I moved from Alabama to St. Louis. And while I'm there, I'm sitting in my room and I open up this mail and it was like wire confirmation. Back then they weren't sending emails. So they was like wire confirmation. And I was like, for 49,000, whatever it was, 700 something dollars. And I stood there and I was frozen. I was like, oh my God, somebody is trying to set me up. I started running through my mind, like everyone who it could possibly be that would send me this money. And I was like, I had a friend that really was gambling at the time. I was like, did she wire this money to me? I was also working at this apartment complex as a manager, and the manager he was kind of shady. So I'm like, is he trying to hide money and send it to me? I literally called him. I was just like, hey, how you doing? Did you send me any money to my bank account? And they're like, no. So then I immediately, I called the bank and I was like, hey, the credit union rather. I was like, hey, I got a wire notification, which means that the money had been sitting there. By the time the mail comes, that you got the notification, it's been sitting there for at least a couple of days, at least 2 or 3 days. Things weren't as sophisticated then as they are now, so I didn't know it until I got the letter. And I was like, now at most, I might have had $1,500 of my own money in that bank account, I didn't have a lot of money at all at that time. And so I called them, and they were like, no, ma'am. It says, is this your account number? Is this your name? Da-da-da-da. And I was like, so the credit union wired the money to the other bank, but it was a mistake. And so, but they were insisting that there was no mistake. So I'm like, I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm like, well, who sent it? Like, where did it come from? And they steadily trying to tell me. So then I went and I saw a lawyer. Because I was like, what am I supposed to do with this money? What are my rights? What is the law? And the lawyer told me exactly to do this. He said, report it again, document everything, don't touch any of the money for 30 days. And he told me to post it somewhere public. So I don't know if it was a newspaper or something to that effect. And he said, if they don't claim it, then it's yours. And that's exactly what happened. The bank refused to admit that they made a mistake.